piggybacking off of the discussion that I had with Voch Lombardi a couple weeks ago, where we discussed the value of the NFL left tackle is ever decreasing. Within the same context, the same conversation, the opposite is true for the NFL nickel corner. The following numbers here are a list of the amount of times that each particular number one wide receiver with their respective teams lined up in the slot. CeeDee Lamb, 250. Justin Jefferson, 150. Jamar Chase, 227. Devontae Adams, 160. Brian Thomas Jr., 163. Tyreek Hill, 151. Mike Evans, 130. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 115. Marvin Harrison Jr., 142. Malik Neighbors, 123. Needless to say, and as you will see in just a second, this is all going to make a lot more sense. The NFL corner, the nickel corner job, which they used to be thought of as the third best cover man on their defensive roster. That's no longer the case. You need that guy to be, he's got to be a dude, because if he's not, offensive coordinators are going to expose him. They're going to motion CeeDee Lamb from the outside into whichever matchup best suits them to go and win. Once again, a reference from our conversation with Voch, who you guys know always mentions, find the scrub. Opposing OCs will find your scrub. So it does not matter who is necessarily the best cover man. You don't have to, your best cover man doesn't necessarily have to be outside. That's still most common, because that's still most of the time, majority speaking. Now we're seeing that majority is leveling out these numbers. Okay, much more frequently, number one wide receivers are motioning to the slot for the free release, for the two-way go. Just being more in traffic, okay? The responsibility of the nickel corner, not only to diagnose and navigate traffic, to run fit responsibility, okay? But also now, more so than ever, covering the opposing team's number one wide receiver. The cornerback conundrum. This is Daron Bland. I hope that you guys enjoy this video. And if you haven't already, assuming that you're already subscribed, go ahead and hit that like button for me. Let's go. I want to see him prove Jerry Jones wrong. I want to see him prove, actually, the Joneses right with their $97 million contract extension investment into him. I want to see him meet the critics where the words are spewing out of their mouth, fair or unfair. But I don't want the Cowboys to use this as an excuse to be cheap with guys that are openly available on the cornerback market. Jair Alexander, Jalen Ramsey, my personal preference, Asante Samuel Jr. We've discussed all of them. The cornerback conundrum, as well as the cornerback contingency. Athlon Sports, CowboysCountry.com, Landon Holyfield, if you type those things in. We can actually discuss them right now if you want to. Let's just do that. Stephon Gilmore is still out there. Okay, that's the cornerback contingency. The cornerback conundrum is the situation with Daron Bland, working him at the nickel spot. Do I think that that's probably his best position? Yeah, that's what he did. That's what he was coming into the league. Do I think that affects his money potentially because he's in a contract year himself? Okay, a lot of people are suggesting that the Cowboys could potentially be working him out at nickel simply because of the value of the position, which I strongly disagree. Okay, because of the discrepancy in pay. Jordan Lewis, the highest paid slot corner, makes $10 million per year. The highest paid outside corners are making 30. So the league, the NFL value of the cornerback position outside suggests that the outside corner is 3 times more valuable than the inside corner. I disagree. Strongly. Why? Because the NFL is ever evolving. Number one, X wide receivers
The CeeDee Lambs of the world, they're no longer just stuck and entrenched outside, much like your premier pass rusher is no longer just stuck and entrenched on one position, one side of the edge, one side of the line of scrimmage. Okay? So slot corners nowadays, not only are they more involved, are they more involved in the running game in an ever-evolving NFL that is now prioritizing physicality because defense is adjusted and caught up to off all the speed, the spread, the misdirection, and the motion, the pass-heavy offenses, right? Now we got linebackers that are running 4-3. We got edges that can drop back and cover, and we got 5 and 6 DBs on the field. Okay, so now teams like the Cowboys, right? They are getting more physical. They're building from within, inside, out. Okay, 300, 6'4", 6'5", 335 across the board. Left guard, center, right guard. People movers. Okay, so now slot corners are dealing with the run game much more often, and one that's trending towards physicality. You can have a power run game with 11 personnel. Ask the Rams. Ask the Niners. They do a lot of two-back stuff. They do a lot of two tight end stuff, but they also do a lot of 11 personnel. So not only are you dealing with the run game much more often, you're in the box much more often. You can't get your hands on guys and redirect them. There's no boundary to assist you. Receivers get two-way goes because there's no boundary to assist them. And on top of that, you're constantly dealing with motion, misdirection. And on top of that, it's the number one wide receiver now that's lining up across from you. You tell me how in the world that makes sense in anybody's head that the slot corner today is 3 times less valuable than the outside corners, the best ones. Needless to say, Daron Bland's team is not worried about him playing in the slot this year, and the Cowboys using that as leverage against them with their contract extension negotiations. I promise you. Because he's already proven that he can be a record-setting all-pro outside as well. So that argument has never made sense to me. Daron Bland's going to play in the nickel, probably to start off the season this year. Why? Because that's his best position. But the why is not because the Cowboys think they're going to get a discount as a result of that. This is a move that puts Daron Bland in a more difficult position, in my opinion. Their best player in the most difficult position. That's the cornerback conundrum. The cornerback contingency.